Um, there's a contradiction happening right in front of you, isn't there? Someone's behavior doesn't match the energy you sense beneath it. Their words say one thing, their actions say another, and somewhere in between, there's a truth they're too afraid to speak. Uh, what I'm tapping into right now, it's layered with confusion. Not yours, theirs. There's someone operating from fear disguised as indifference, distance that masks desire, coldness that's actually protection. Okay, so let's see what this energy brings. I'm picking up on self sabotage, but not the obvious kind, the subtle kind, where someone convinces themselves they're doing the right thing by walking away, by creating space, by pushing you out, when really every cell in their body is screaming the opposite, and they might even believe their own story. That's how powerful fear can be. Hold on, let's sit with this for a moment. Here's what I'm sensing. This person didn't wake up one day and genuinely stop caring about you. That's not how emotions work. What they did was make a decision, probably a panicked one, that separating themselves was safer than staying vulnerable. And now they're committed to that decision, even though it's tearing them apart. Mm, I'm picking up on something specific. Pride. Stubborn, painful pride. They've taken a stance, drawn a line, made declarations, and now, even though they regret it, going back feels impossible, like admitting defeat, like proving they were wrong. So they double down, act colder than they feel, pretend they've moved on when they haven't, perform indifference while checking your socials at 2 a.m. The mask is convincing, but it's still a mask. I want to ask you something. Have you noticed inconsistencies? Moments where the facade slips? A text that comes out of nowhere, then gets explained away? A mutual friend mentioning they asked about you? A lingering look that contradicts their distant words? Those aren't accidents. Those are leaks, cracks in the armor where the real feelings seep through. What do your instincts tell you about what they're actually feeling? Separate from what they're showing you, what do you sense underneath? Let's talk about why people do this. Because on the surface, it seems illogical. Why create distance from something you want? Why push away someone you care about? But fear doesn't operate on logic, it operates on survival. And for some people, emotional vulnerability feels like death. Intimacy feels like losing control. Love feels like handing someone a loaded weapon. So they preemptively strike. They leave before they can be left. They reject before they can be rejected. They create the ending they're terrified will happen anyway. And in their mind, they're being smart, protective, realistic, but really, they're just scared. Here, I feel a slightly different energy. Some of you, this separation happened after a specific trigger. Maybe things were getting too real, too serious. Maybe the word love got mentioned. Maybe future plans got discussed. Maybe they saw how much they actually cared and it terrified them. And their response was to retreat, fast, dramatically, sometimes even cruelly. Not because they don't feel it, but because they feel it so much, it's overwhelming. I'm also picking up on external influences. Like this person might have voices in their head that aren't even their own. Parents who taught them love is conditional. Exes who destroyed their trust. Friends who question every relationship. Society that says vulnerability is weakness. And all those voices, They're louder than their own heart right now. So they listen to the noise instead of the truth. Let's see, what else is here? I'm sensing regret. It might not be visible yet. They might still be in the phase where they're justifying their choice, defending it, convincing themselves they did the right thing. But underneath that defense, there's a quiet knowing that they made a mistake, that they let fear win, that they walked away from something real because they couldn't handle how real it was. And that regret is growing, slowly, steadily, with every day that passes, where they realize separation isn't bringing the relief they expected. I'm also picking up on watching this person is monitoring you from a distance, not in a creepy way, though the methods might feel intrusive, but in a I need to know you're okay way, in a I need to see if you've moved on way, because if you have, that confirms their worst fear, that they were replaceable all along. But if you haven't, that complicates their narrative, makes it harder to maintain the distance, reminds them that what they felt wasn't one sided. Here's something I need to address though. Just because someone's acting opposite to how they feel doesn't mean they're going to change their behavior. Understanding their internal conflict doesn't guarantee they'll resolve it in your favor. Some people live in that contradiction forever, wanting and running, loving and leaving, feeling deeply but acting shallow. And you can't fix that for them. What's your role in this? That's that's the question you need to sit with. Because you could reach out, you could call them on their contradiction, you could offer them safety to be honest. But should you? Or is it time to let their actions speak louder than your intuition about their feelings? I'm picking up on something about timing. Like, this person might need to hit a certain point before they can admit what they actually feel. Rock bottom, loneliness, witnessing you with someone else. Some external catalyst that forces internal honesty, and that timing might not align with yours. You might be ready for truth right now, but they might need 3 more months, or 6, or a year. How long are you willing to wait for someone to match their behavior to their feelings? Here I feel energy around communication that hasn't happened yet. A conversation that needs to occur but keeps getting avoided. Words that need to be said but keep getting swallowed. And maybe you're both waiting for the other to go first, both hoping the other will be brave enough to cut through the pretense and say what's actually true. But what if neither of you does? What if this standoff continues until the gap becomes too wide to bridge? I'm also sensing pride on both sides, not just theirs, yours too, because maybe you're hurt by how they've acted. Maybe you feel like if they really cared, they wouldn't have created this separation in the first place. And you're not wrong, but you're also not seeing the full picture of what's happening inside them. Two people can both be right and both be stuck. Let's talk about what you're feeling right now, because I'm sensing confusion, frustration, maybe even anger. Like, if you feel it, just say it. If you want this, just show up. Stop making it so complicated. And those feelings are valid. You deserve clarity. You deserve someone who can match their words to their heart. But you can't force emotional maturity. You can't drag someone into readiness. You can't love them into bravery. They have to get there themselves, or not. What I'm also picking up on, some of you already know this isn't going to resolve the way you hoped. You can feel it. that this person's fear is bigger than their feelings, that their pattern is stronger than their desire to break it. And you're grieving that knowing, even while still holding space for possibility. Both truths can coexist. Acceptance and hope, letting go and staying open. Let's see what else needs to come through. I'm sensing that some of you might get an opportunity soon. A crack in their armor, a moment of vulnerability, a text, a call, an admission that things aren't as simple as they've been pretending. And how you respond to that opportunity matters. Do you meet them with openness? Or do you protect yourself by matching their previous coldness? Neither response is wrong, but both will determine what happens next. I'm also picking up on self-worth as a central theme here, because at some point you have to decide what you're willing to tolerate, how much contradiction you'll accept, how long you'll wait for someone to align their behavior with their feelings. And that decision isn't about them. It's about you, about what you deserve, about what you're teaching the universe you'll accept. What does honoring yourself look like in this situation? As I'm closing this reading, I want to leave you with this. Someone acting opposite to how they feel is their journey, their lesson, their pattern to break or not break. And while it affects you, it's not about you. Your journey is different. Your lesson is about discernment, about knowing when to stay open and when to protect yourself, about recognizing love in potential versus love in action. They may be feeling everything you suspect, but feelings without corresponding behavior are just feelings. And you can't build a relationship on someone's private emotions. You need their truth, out loud, in action, consistently. Anything less is just waiting. And you deserve more than waiting. Thank you for being here. If this resonated, share in the comments. Have you experienced someone whose actions contradicted their feelings? How did you handle it? Trust what people show you, not just what you sense beneath it,